What's up, everybody? That's a little too much energy. What's up, everybody? It's Trip with Sailing and Such here on YouTube, and in this video we're going to be going over an updated gear list. My 2017 gear list of what I'm using when I'm going kayak camping and just stand-up paddleboard camping or whatever have you. It's all about the same thing, use about the same gear. I made the last gear list video back in 2015, and a lot has changed since then. I watched it this morning and I was like, oh my goodness, I changed so much. That sucked. That was no good. You know, I had to get rid of that. And I really learned a lot. And I want to share everything that I've learned with you guys and show all the new gear that I've been using. So let's get into it, folks. One of the most obvious things that I've changed, or I wouldn't say changed, but I've added to my gear is this stand-up paddleboard slash kayak. This thing is awesome. This is the Kayak Kahuna. I've used it on a few trips now. I've just had so much fun, too much fun. For most trips, I'm gonna be using this thing simply because it's so much fun and so easy. I love it. You got plenty of room for a lot of stuff, surprisingly. A lot of people don't think that, but I actually have no problem getting all my gear in here, or on here slash in here. And it just works really, really well. For all you kayak lovers though, I've still got the Wilderness Systems Solution 2, and I'm definitely gonna still be using that because there's a place for it. It certainly is. This thing is, I love it. Hopefully I'll never not own a touring kayak because there's times when that is gonna just be absolutely what you need, just what I really love paddling. This video isn't about kayaks though. This is about the gear that I use when I go kayak camping. So let's get into that. First we'll start with the actual kayaking stuff. I've got my PFD. This is still the Stokewish Trekker. Love this PFD. I mean, it's just really comfortable. I mean, I've worn it for many, many miles, and it's just a great vest. I mean, I've swam in it and stuff. It's just real comfortable. I mean, it stays on me just really, really well. It's holding up good. I have no complaints. I've really enjoyed having these large pockets here on the front. That makes a difference because, you know, if you're paddling for a long time and you're stuck in a kayak, you can put food and snacks and stuff in here, just whatever little knickknacks and gear you want. So that's been really nice. But this is a great PFD. Paddles. I have improved my paddle, and I'm very glad I did. You know, when I first started in my last video, I had like a $35, just kind of a cheap, beginner paddle, which works, no problem with it. But here I have a No Limits ASO paddle. It's a really good stiff blade, like some sort of, I don't know, resin blade. And then this looks like some sort of a carbon fiber type blade. I think it's about an $80 paddle. And it served me really well. And you can definitely tell the difference in a cheaper paddle and just a little bit better paddle, kind of like this one. Because whenever we go out, I let somebody be like, hey, try this paddle, and we'll kind of trade paddles for a little bit. They're like, oh my goodness, this paddle's so much stiffer. I feel like I get so much power and response from it. So great paddle right here. I really loved it. A lot of miles on that thing. Whenever I'm on the stand-up paddleboard, I have this paddle. This is the paddle that Kayak sells with their Kahuna, and it works fine. There's nothing wrong with it. I've really used and abused it probably. I know going down the Peace River, I was pretty rough on it, and it's holding up pretty good. It does extend and stuff to your height because whenever you're on a stand-up paddleboard, you kind of adjust the paddle to your height. One thing though it does do, it does kind of gather some water in the shaft, and I don't know if all of them do that. Probably, but I wouldn't mind kind of stepping up my paddle game for the stand-up paddleboard because, just like I stepped up the paddle game for the regular paddle, I think if I stepped it up here, it would make a difference too. I'm still carrying a sponge with me pretty much every time I go. This is a big tiling sponge you can get at your home store. They're just real good and durable. This is, I think, maybe even the same one that I had a few years ago, so it's been through a lot. But I have added a bilge pump as well, and this is really, really, really important if you're gonna sit inside touring kayak and you're out, in some waves and stuff, or if you capsize. You basically really, really need this. I mean, it's possible to bail a kayak without it, but this helps a lot. If you're by yourself and you're flooded now, it's going to be really, really tricky unless you have a paddle float or something, but it's still going to be tough. So you need a bilge pump. Still have my paddle leash from kayakingandcamping.com. They make it really good, made in America, actually made right here in my home state of Alabama. Really good pricing, you can get them off Amazon. Great deal, great paddle leash. I like this one. I haven't really used it a lot, but when I'm in open water, I do use it at times. Sometimes I don't. I don't know. I should use it more than I do. I like to carry just some spare rope with me. You never know when you may need some rope to tie down a tarp or to tie your kayak to something or whatever. Extra rope's always good to have. Doesn't have to be really big and really strong. I like smaller rope that's, still good quality rope, but the smaller it is, the easier it stores, and most of the time I don't need it for really heavy tasks. There are some times where I like to carry a GPS with me. I have my Garmin GPS Map 76CX. This is kind of an older one, but it still has a color screen and it works pretty well. It's waterproof and stuff, and this thing has been nice for me. I like to use it to kind of track my speed so I know how fast I'm going, especially when I'm going over open water. I always like to carry a multi-tool with me. This is a Gerber suspension. This camera's supposed to be on, getting B-roll. This is my new camera. This is a Gerber suspension. I really like it. I mean, it's done me fine, and I've used it ever since I started kayaking, so it's been used and abused. It's been in salt water a lot. You can see it doesn't really have a lot of corrosion and stuff on it. It does have a little bit, but I mean, it still functions perfectly. So I like it, and I think it's always good. You want some sort of tool to be able to fix things, so this fits the bill for me. I always carry sunblock, and I always wear it too, or I try to. I wear it most of the time, but I'm always aware of how much sun I'm getting, or I try to be. But sunblock is good to have. This is 50. Sunblock, gotta have it. One of my more recent finds and recent favorite pieces of gear are these mesh bags. Now, I really like them to just keep the small gear organized, especially since I've been on stand-up paddleboard and I'm keeping things like a dry box cooler. Just keeping small gear in a little mesh bag has just made my world so much easier. These are by Equinox. I found them on Amazon, and you can get them a little bit cheaper from their actual website. I highly, highly suggest you get some of these bags. They're really good quality. I tried some cheaper ones off Amazon, and get the Equinox brand. They're a little pricey, but they're very much well worth it. There are times when I like to bring maps with me, and I make my own maps. I have a video about that if you want to check it out. But they're really handy to have at times, because of course you don't want to be lost. But keeping them accessible while you're paddling and keeping them dry so they don't ruin is pretty important. This is a seal line map case. It's worked really well for me, and I like it. Be sure you get one big enough though, where you can fit a whole sheet of paper in it, because they do have some that are too small. Like this one, you can fit a whole sheet of paper in there and still have some room to play. This is pretty, I think that's pretty important, because I struggled when I had a smaller one. I screwed up. But you live and you learn, or you watch YouTube videos and you learn what you need to buy. Sometimes I like to carry a pole spear with me. I haven't gotten anything with it yet, but I still carry it. And it's supposed to have a big bungee in the back, but I carry it, I don't know, in case I see flounder or stingray or something I want to try and eat for dinner. For my shelter and sleep system, most of you guys know that I really love the hammock system, so that's what I use. I used to use a DIY hammock, but I ripped it, so I bought a new one from Arrowhead Equipment. It's just a really nice hammock. It's like an 11-foot hammock. I suggest going 11-foot because you get more comfort with more length. I still have my DIY tarp, and both my hammock and tarp fit in this bag. I used to carry them in two different bags. When I switched to the stand-up paddleboard, I was trying to conserve space, and I'm able to get them actually both in the bag that I kept my tarp in. So that really saved a lot of space. I do still bring my old hammock bag with me, and I just have some bug net stuff in here, just some cheap stuff that I got from Walmart, just like the little lace stuff. That's what I use as a bug net, and I also will use it as a pillow. I'll just use this bag and just put it just right on my neck as a little bitty pillow. It's really all you need in a hammock. And then I carry a separate piece of bug net that's tied up with a gear tie. Love gear ties. It's probably about a 3 by 4 foot piece, and I just drape it over me in the hammock. It works pretty good. To go with my tarp, I have just 4 of these cheap sand stakes that are from Walmart. I find these to be the best stakes because most of the time I'm in pretty soft ground. You'll be in on the beach or by a river. It's usually some pretty soft stuff, so these stakes hold really well and they're lightweight and cheap. For my sleep system, in the wintertime, I will have my Jarbidge underquilt, also from Arrowhead Equipment. It's about a $100 underquilt. It's a synthetic one. It's like a 3/4 length, which is almost a full length for me. I'm about 5'8", so it works really well. And it's a really good value. So that's why I have it. They make something like 300 bucks, or 200 bucks. I can't quite afford that. I've also recently started using just a down throw that I got from like Bed Bath & Beyond. You can get them off the internet for like 28 bucks. It's just like a cheap down throw that's really highly compressible and pretty warm. I think I've used it like down to like 45 degrees or something, and I've been fairly warm in it, so it's nice and cheap, and it packs better because I used to always bring my Mountain Hardwear Ultra Laminia synthetic sleeping bag, which is a little heavier, a little bulkier, and of course you don't have to have a sleeping bag in a hammock when you have an underquilt. You really just need a top quilt, so that's why I have that. I also have my DIY silk sleeping bag liner that I use and wash regularly because I use this to keep everything else clean, because I'll get in the sleeping bag liner and then I'll get in my sleeping bag or whatever I need to get in, and it just keeps everything else clean, and this is what I need to wash whenever I get home. And also on those nights when it's not too cold, you can just slip into this thing and it kind of breaks the wind off of you and it'll keep the bugs off too. Whenever it does get cold, I will bring this little piece of Reflectix I take and put under my feet in the hammock. It works really well because where your feet touch, and if your feet hang off the end of your underquilt, your feet will get really cold. You really need one of these or something like this. You can use a bag or different things for it. Always keep my sleep stuff in a dry bag. Usually I'll put it in this Outdoor Research compression dry bag. It's waterproof, but it also compresses and lets the air out, so it works really well to get it really small when I want to put it in my touring kayak. I haven't really figured out what I'm going to do if I need all that warmth whenever I go in my stand-up paddleboard, but probably whenever it's cold enough where I need an underquilt and a top quilt and stuff, I'll probably be taking a kayak, my touring kayak, so I'll be using this, so I don't have to worry about how I would do it on this stand-up paddleboard. Now for the small, kind of cool other camp items. One of my favorite things, probably, well actually no, my favorite is going to be my Bluetooth wireless speaker that one of you guys sent me. I appreciate that. This is the Altec, I don't know, the IMW575. It's waterproof, it floats, it's a wireless Bluetooth speaker. It can also recharge your electronics because it has a pretty good sized battery on it. Love this thing. I love music, so I gotta have this. I thought I lost it, but I didn't. Got really lucky on that. It's a really nice one, and I'm very, very lucky to have it. Then maybe my next favorite thing is going to be my Thermarest Trio chair. You guys have seen me rant and rave about this chair. It's awesome. I think everyone should probably have one. This, or they have a new Quadra chair out. Has a little higher weight rating, and maybe a little bit wider and a little more comfortable and a little more stable. But the Trio chair, nonetheless, is good. You can get it for like 60 bucks or so off Amazon. Great chair. Next up, I've got a medical kit. I mentioned I thought I lost my Bluetooth speaker. Well, I did lose my medical kit, so I had to buy another one. What happened, I actually left my tailgate open on my truck with my dry box cooler that you'll see in a little bit in the back of the truck with a bunch of stuff in it, and it fell out and lost a lot of stuff, my gear. So I'm slowly learning today some of the things that were in there because you don't know what you lost until you need it. So I bought another Adventure medical kits. This is the 0.5 version. It's all in a waterproof little bag, and it's a pretty decent medical kit. I would like to change it a little bit, but I mean, as small as it is, just for me for a few days, it's pretty nice. And knock on wood, but I never had to open the other one, so I may never have to open this one either. But you need to carry one with you for sure. There's gonna be a series going up on medical kits, so be ready for that. I have a little toiletries bag that I bring with me. I've got just some little toilet paper in here, toothbrush, some waterproof matches, some hand sanitizer, toothpaste, lighter, moist towelette, some matches, a little piece of duct tape, and a small tweezer. Just good to have. You gotta have your little toiletries, but I'll also have my shaving razor and some lotion that I'll bring with me too to do that. For a knife, I have a Light My Fire Mora knife. It has a little ferro rod in here, so you can have another way to start fire if you need that. I haven't ever used it though. I like the lighter. If I've got a lighter, I'm going to use the lighter. But it's good. It's not a very expensive knife, and it works well. I usually carry a folding saw with me. Well, sometimes I do. Well, most of the time I do. Whenever I'm hanging a hammock, maybe a limb or a little tree that just might need to go. So I like to carry this. It makes quick work of it. This is a pretty cheap one, I think. It doesn't even have a name brand on it, and I really could use a new one, but it's still working. Oh, one of my probably favorite pieces of gear, another one of my favorites, is my gear hanger. I use this thing all the time. You guys see me really rant and rave about this gear hanger because I just like to hang it up when I'm at camp and just hang all my stuff on it. It keeps everything off the ground and just nice and clean. You need a gear hanger. I've got a video showing you how to make your own, so you need to watch it and make yourself a gear hanger. You need to make one. I have an insect head net that I've really never even used. This one's by Outdoor Research, and I've never used it, but I bring it with me. And that one time when I need it, it's going to be a lifesaver. I always like to bring gear ties. I bring extra gear ties because these things, you just find so many uses for them. It's basically just like a bread twisty tie, but it's like a heavy duty one that you can reuse. I mean, I'm telling you, there's always something I can use these for. Bug spray, you gotta have some bug spray, right? You never know. Deep Woods, DEET. Gotta have that good stuff, baby. Keep them mosquitoes off, or try to. Sometimes you go places where mosquitoes just lick it off of you, but whatever, you gotta try. I've got my little pack towel. This is just an MSR pack towel. It's a small one. You guys have seen me use it. And no, it's not big. You don't need much. I'm kind of minimalist at some things, but this thing's worked well. I've had this for many years since I first started backpacking, and it's just a great little pack towel. I think it's pretty simple. Use it to wash up and dry off if you ever get wet. Always bring some wet wipes with me. These are good. You know, if it's cold out, you don't want to take a dip in the water. You can just kind of, you know, clean up with the wet wipes a little bit, clean your feet before you get in the hammock and stuff like that. So these are always nice to have, and also when you go to the bathroom, they can be nice too. I want to take a quick moment and thank my patrons over on patreon.com for everything that they do. Y'all, those are people who are just really devoted to Sailing and Such, and they've decided to support monthly to help Sailing and Such out, to kind of, you know, because all this stuff isn't free, doesn't, you know, it's not, you know, it costs me money to go places and to film these videos and to buy these new cameras and stuff that I keep breaking or not liking or messing up. Let me turn this one off. So I just want to thank you all patrons. Thank y'all so much. I really do appreciate everything you do. And everyone else should thank the patrons too, because they make things like this possible. Like when I lost my cooler and all that stuff and everything that was in it that I had to replace, I used some money from Patreon to pay for that. So that really helped. I appreciate all you guys so much. All right, let's get to some of this gear. For my lighting, I usually carry 2 or maybe 3 ways flashlight. Sometimes more than that if I'm planning on doing some filming at night or trying to film at night, because it's kind of tough. But I usually always have my black diamond lantern. This thing's nice. It's really small. I can use it, and it has these hooks on the top where I can hang it on the ridge line of my hammock. It's just right above me. If I ever get up in the middle of the night and I need some light, I can just pop this thing on real quick. It's nice. It's not too expensive, so it's good to have. I've had this one for a while, and it's still going strong. I usually bring my through night flashlight. I will carry this flashlight with me basically every day at work, and whenever I go camping, it's a pretty darn good flashlight. It has different modes, you know, different brightness levels, and it's pretty bright. I just put rechargeable batteries in here, rechargeable AA's, and I really like it. It's waterproof too, so it's nice. Then I also have a through night headlamp. It's a pretty good headlamp. I mean, it's definitely bright. It works. I mean, it has different settings, but there's 2 things I don't really like about it. Sometimes when it's on my head or when it's on for a long time, it'll kind of blink a little bit on its own, and I don't really care for that. And also, it doesn't have like a spot and a flood mode. I've been thinking about lately getting a new headlamp. Just hadn't pulled the trigger on one because I really want one that is, you know, rechargeable. I also want to have flood mode and spot mode, and I want to have different light levels. For my cooking gear, I always carry my pot. It's just a stainless steel Stanley pot. Pretty inexpensive pot you can get, but it's worked really well for me over the years. And it comes, you know, it's got a little insulated cup that goes in it, and so I just carry that. I've kind of downsized what I carry to cook with. I used to have like an alcohol stove I would put in it, and, you know, alcohol and stuff, and I just kind of ditched that because I'm always making a fire usually, or either I just eat it cold. Who cares? I like to keep the pot in just some random bag. This is an old Frog Togs bag, old Frog Togs bag, probably back, shoot, over 10 years. Yeah, over 10 years. Why not look at my watch? It's over 10 years old probably. And it just works just to, you know, keep the soot and stuff off things. I also carry my Grilly Put Quattro grill. Love this grill. So cool to have a grill so you can cook up some crabs or fish or what have you whenever you're out kayak camping. You need that grill. I also have the Iridium stove. This thing's pretty cool. You guys have seen my video on it. Basically, all you do, you stab this thing down in the dirt or in the middle of your fire, and you set your pot right on it. It works really nice. It's durable as all get out. It's just a real heavy-duty piece of aluminum, and I don't know, I have no complaints on it. I also like to bring just a little chunk of fat lightered wood. It's just a piece of kind of old pine that's real sappy and just burns really good. I'll just cut off a few slivers if I'm having trouble starting a fire, and this works well. It's kind of like a cheap fire starter that I just collected one time when I was out on a trip, and I've just always carried it with me since. Of course, I have a spoon slash spork. Nice to have. Washes up easy. Then I've got these cool little plate things. Just pieces of plastic that kind of snap together to make a plate or a bowl. I don't know if I've actually used it yet, but I've always brought it because it's just so cool. You know, so I've got these. I don't know. One day whenever I catch a bunch of fish, I'll put it in here, okay? I haven't caught much fish to cook and eat. One day. For my water, I used to use the MSR dromedary bag, but I had a little issues with it. Well, the top kind of chipped and it started leaking, which kind of it's not their fault really. I probably dropped it or something. But then I would get like mold and stuff in it, or I just wouldn't know how clean the inside was. So I ended up buying this Nalgene Canteen. This is a wide mouth model. This is a 96 ounce, and it's worked really well. I know if it's clean, I can clean it easily, and I just keep it in the freezer when I'm not using it so that it doesn't grow any mold or anything nasty in there. Excuse the noise, yard man in a neighbor's house, whatever. Dry bags. I really improved my dry bag game because I started out using these things. They're from Outdoor Research, from like Walmart's in a 3-pack for like a few dollars. And they claim they're dry bags, but no, they're not dry bags at all. Like they may not even keep your stuff dry if it gets splashed. But especially if it's sitting in water, like in the bottom of a kayak or somewhere, your stuff's gonna get soaked. It's just gonna soak through. So those aren't really any good for keeping stuff dry, but they can be good if you just want to organize things and then put it in a dry bag. Whatever. But I would prefer to use the mesh bags like I showed you earlier. I learned that dry bags, a lot of them are kind of equal, really and truly. There's a lot of different ones on the internet, a lot of different brands on Amazon, but they're all pretty darn similar unless you go up to some, the really expensive ones. Then they may be a little bit tougher, maybe a little bit nicer, but I think the mid-grade ones are doing just fine. So here I've got an EarthPack dry bag, I've got a Unigear dry bag, and then I've got some Leader accessory dry bags. Now I really like the Leader accessories. Why? Because they have a lot of different sizes and a lot of different colors, so I can say, okay, I've got this in this color, this is in this color. My camera's in red, my batteries are in green, my blue one I carry in the kayak, my bigger red one I got food in, or whatever. So it's nice to have the different color options. Usually whenever I go, I have one 5-liter dry bag like this one in my cockpit or just somewhere really close to me with just things I need to access quickly. Then I may have another 5-liter with my batteries and some things like that in it. And then I can have maybe my big DSLR camera in this 10-liter. This is my favorite size, and I don't really go a lot bigger than this when I'm using a touring kayak or a regular kayak. So I'll put, clothes go in here good, sleeping bag can go in here good, stuff like that. This is just a really good size that's still packable down into the compartments of a kayak. Now for the stand-up paddleboard though, I've had to kind of change my game up because you don't have a whole lot of, storage that's kind of dryish, whatever. So I've got this one larger dry bag. That noise is driving me crazy. I'm so sorry, people. So I've got this one larger dry bag. I just opened it this morning, actually, and it's the ZBRO dry bag. I think this is the 20-liter model. And this, I'm just going to basically use it just to put a bunch of bulk stuff in and to put on the front of my paddleboard, and it'll be really nice. This is actually a backpack model. So basically what makes it a backpack model is it has these little loops down here, these little D-rings down here fastened to it, and D-rings up on the closure part, so that technically you could hook the backpack straps to it and wear it as a backpack. Or if I want to lay it on my paddleboard, I can now attach it to the gear track or to whatever eyelets or something on top of my paddleboard and hold it on there securely. On the front of it, it has this nice little pocket right here with a little mesh so you can see what's in there, and it also has some shock cord on top so you can just stuff whatever you want in here. So that'll be handy if I ever want to just put whatever I want in here. I don't know, we'll see when the time comes. On the inside of it, there's a zipper pocket as well. You can see right here, it's not huge, but it'll be nice to help keep things a little bit organized in there. Pretty neat, nice dry bag, and it feels good just like all the other one. And see, you really need one that is, I think it's like PVC coated, because these are just, the other ones, the cheaper ones that I showed you, they're just like a nylon with maybe some silicone impregnation to them, but you really need like some 100% waterproof dry bags. That's really what you need. All right, then I have a couple of cables that are held together with zip ties. One's for my phone or a camera, and for my different cameras and stuff. You gotta have your cables. And the zip ties really help keep them organized. Then here I usually carry 2 of my battery banks. These are both by RAV Power. I really like the RAV Power stuff. It's just really good quality, and you can see how much charge you have on it. Actually, this one you can't. On my new big one, well, yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. But here you can mash a button and it shows how much it's charged. This has 4 bars, and this is a 26,800 milliamp hours. That's a lot. And this one is it needs charging. This is a 1500 milliamp. So if I carry both of these charged, I can recharge all my batteries and my cell phone several times. So it's really nice, and it's something, like when I'm going live on YouTube and stuff, it really sucks down a lot of battery. But when I'm posting different places and responding to comments and stuff while I'm out on an adventure, you really need that extra juice. And they come with these cool little bags that really keep it protected. I think if you want some, go with Rav Power. I know a few of you have bought some of these from my suggestions and you really like them, so that's awesome. I wouldn't recommend anything that I don't like. I wouldn't buy anything, especially 2 of anything that I don't like. A couple little pleasure items that I kind of bring with me. I of course bring my fins, because you guys know how much I love to swim in the water. Here's some Cressy Guerra 2000 HF freediving fins. They're really good, just a couple strokes and you're moving. You know, a lot better than the shorter fins. So they're really nice. You need booties when you wear them. So I have these booties as well. And of course I also bring goggles and a snorkel, but that was in my cooler when it fell out of my truck. So I've got to buy new goggles and snorkel. But I think I also had, it was a pair of Cressy low volume goggles. I had them for like, I don't know, maybe like 8 years or something, or maybe even 10 years. Probably about 9 years, and they were still in awesome shape. And then my recent little thing I got, did I buy it, or I think I asked for it for Christmas maybe, was this Waterman ukulele. It's so much fun. You know, of course I love music. Well, this is a all plastic ukulele. So, you know, basically you can use it as a paddle if you need to, and it's waterproof, and the strings are plastic, the body's plastic. It has some metal up here, but I'm guessing it's stainless steel because I've had this thing get wet and salty and stuff before, and it's still in awesome condition. So, little ukulele to have a little fun. And here I have just a little cast net, just a cheap one off Amazon. It's a, I don't know what it is, Hurricane cast net. This is a 4-foot radius. It's a pretty good beginner cast net. I've caught a few fish with it, nice and fun. Oh yeah, and also gotta have my net. Gotta have the net to catch the crabs, because that's probably my favorite thing to do, is catch and eat crabs and grill them on the grill. So this is just a cheaper net. I'd probably like to get a nicer one eventually, but you know, it's kind of collapsible and stuff. It really needs to be rinsed. It's got sand and salt on it still, or I didn't rinse it from last time, but it's pretty sturdy. You really want to have a stiff net, or you know, a stiff handle and stiff whatever hoop to your net if you're going to be doing some crabbing, because you know, sometimes you really got to chase them down and catch them like y'all saw me do in the Panama City Beach kayak camping video. And then I guess the last thing I'll show is I have this chair. This is the, I've got 2 more things to show. This is a Larry chair. This straps down on the top of the Kayak Kahuna stand-up paddleboard, and it's really comfortable. So no, I don't have to stand up all the time. I can sit down whenever I want to and relax. Like, it's fantastic. And you know, this thing folds up really small, and it's, you know, pretty lightweight. And so if you ever get to camp, you can take it off, move it around camp. You know, put it on the paddleboard, take it off the paddleboard, do whatever you want. And I've got these little saddlebag things here with a Kaku name on it. So those are pretty sweet. Really like that Larry chair. And I also just bought and just opened out of the bag just a little while ago this new Engel cooler. It's the exact same one that I had for my last few trips on the stand-up paddleboard. This thing's nice. It's really lightweight. You know, it's not like a Yeti, which is super heavy, because you want to save, you know, you want to be as light as possible when you're on your kayak or your stand-up paddleboard or whatever. Granted, it's not going to hold ice for 5 days, but I don't even bring ice with me when I go. So what I primarily use this for is just dry storage. I'll just have it behind my seat so I can just reach around behind me and access whatever I want to access real quick. I'll have my phone in there or something, playing music, so if I ever want to change the song, I just pop it open and match the phone. It's really nice. And it's got the rod holders on the side, but you know, it's just a dry box. It's really cool. It's got little holes here on the side where you can strap it down, so this thing's pretty sweet. You know, decent size in there. It really holds a lot of gear. My first trip with the Kahuna stand-up paddleboard was the 72 mile down the Peace River, and I had this and I had a bunch of gear packed in it. It worked really well. That's when I realized I needed those little mesh bags, and adding the mesh bags to it just made it so awesome. So awesome. You just keep things organized really well. You just pop it open, do whatever you need, and whenever you get to camp, you just haul this thing to camp. You've got most used gear there with you, so it's really nice. An easy way to get a hold of some of this gear, you can go to the Sailing and Such Amazon store. It's basically the exact same prices that are on Amazon. They're not marked up anything, just for this, the Sailing and Such store. It's basically just all this gear that I use, just kind of bulked into one spot, or all the gear that I suggest or would like to use, and just the stuff that I think is good. It's all bulked in one spot, so you can find it. You can just go shop there, say, hey mom, buy me some stuff from the Sailing and Such store, or hey honey, buy me some stuff from the Sailing and Such store, and I'll be happy. And whenever you guys do make purchases there, I get a small percentage from Amazon that helps me a little bit to buy a little bit of gear. So hey, thank y'all very much for what y'all do. Hey folks, thanks for watching. Hope you learned something about all this gear. If you have any suggestions or something for the gear, hey, let me know in the comments or wherever you want to. Shoot me an email or on Facebook or on Instagram or whatever, Snapchat, and I'll do my best to answer your question. I try to answer most of the questions, although I'm getting a lot more and more these days, so it's getting tougher for me too, but I'm still trying to do it for you guys because I know, everybody just has a simple little question they want to ask and want to answer. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you subscribe to Sailing and Such and come along on all my next crazy wild adventures because I have a lot of fun stuff planned, folks. I promise you I do. And if you're not already, follow Sailing and Such on Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat. Really like to have fun over on those places. And stay tuned because we do some live shows every once in a while, and those are a lot of fun. And I have quite a bit of gear that I need to give away. I need a lot of gear I've got to be giving away here soon, so be sure that you're tuning into the live shows. And so whenever you click the subscribe button, be sure you mash the bell icon. Click subscribe, click the bell. Click subscribe, click the bell. You gotta do it. You gotta do it to make it work, okay? That's how you get notified whenever I go live so we can have a lot of fun, because I like to interact with you guys. All right, folks, take care of yourselves, get out there, and let's see what kind of adventure we find next. All right, take care of yourselves, people. God bless.